Hello and welcome to Express News. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. My name is Abhishek Mahajan. Let's start with the top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with students during the 9th edition of the popular interactive program Pariksha Pe Charcha. Addressing the students, PM Modi stressed that education should not feel like a burden, rather it needs total involvement. He also added that education in bits and pieces does not ensure success. Prime Minister stressed that education is just a medium of our development and exams should never be the ultimate goal. Rather, the ultimate goal is all-round development. During the interaction with PM Modi, students sought his advice on the dilemma of balancing board exams and competitive examinations. Speaking on the importance of involvement in learning, PM Modi said that experiences stay memorable only when one is personally engaged and actively participates. Speaking on time management, PM Modi said that disciplined use of time can reduce stress and boost efficiency. Prime Minister advised that teachers should remain sensitive to the learning speed of every student. He said that a teacher should stay just one step ahead of the student and not too far, so that guidance feels achievable and not intimidating. During a visit to Odisha, President Draupadi Murmu interacted with tribal residents of Gudguri and Yashipur in the Simlipal Tiger Reserve of Mayurbhanj district. During her interaction, President Murmu underscored government initiatives in various sectors, emphasizing that people in the region are already benefiting from these schemes. At least 18 miners were killed in a blast and several others feared trapped in an illegal coal mining site in Meghalaya's East Jaintia Hills district on Thursday, prompting the government to order an investigation. Preliminary reports indicate that the blast was caused by a high-intensity dynamite explosion used for mining activities. Rescue and search operations are ongoing and authorities are working to assess the full extent of the tragedy. Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma said strict action will be taken against individuals involved in any kind of illegal activities. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over the loss of lives in Meghalaya mishap. In a social media post, the Prime Minister announced an ex gratia of Rs 2 lakh to the next of kin of each deceased and Rs 50,000 for those injured. Speaking in Pimpri Chinchwad, Maharashtra ISRO Chairman V. Narayanan said the Gaganyaan program is targeted for 2027 with 3 uncrewed missions. ISRO chief added that Chandrayaan 4 and Chandrayaan 5 are planned as crewed missions and are expected by 2028 if everything goes as planned. Governor of Japan's Gunma Prefecture, Ichita Yamamoto, is on a 5-day visit to India, marking his first visit to the country to strengthen economic, educational and human resource exchanges. Yamamoto held productive talks with India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal. Leaders discussed strengthening the long-standing ties between India and Japan. Seychelles President Dr. Patrick Hermini, who is on a visit to India, participated in a seminar on international maritime routes on Friday in Chennai. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Ajay Shankar addressed the inaugural India-EU Forum on Friday. He highlighted that the FTA has been a game-changing development for the partnership between India and EU. In the ongoing budget session of the Parliament, during question hour in the Upper House, Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav spoke about non-stoppage of trains at Tirur railway station. Lok Sabha, the lower house, was adjourned multiple times due to heavy uproar from the opposition. The Speaker of the House also warned the MPs that the House cannot function in such a situation. Reserve Bank of India Governor Sanjay Malhotra on Friday announced that the Monetary Policy Committee has decided to keep the policy repo rate unchanged at 5.25% and to maintain a neutral stance. In this monetary policy easing cycle, the central bank has cut the repo rate by a cumulative 125 basis points or 1.25%, making loan EMIs cheaper. Consumer price index inflation has been benign, hitting its lowest level in the data series in October 2025. RBI Governor also said that GDP growth has beaten all expectations so far this fiscal year, noting that India is set to grow at over 7%, retaining its tag of being the world's fastest growing major economy. RBI Governor reiterated its proactive approach to liquidity management, highlighting steps taken in recent months to maintain ample liquidity. Indian indices closed in green on Friday as Sensex jumped 267 points to settle at 83,580, while Nifty surged 51 points to 25,694. Indian rupee dropped 31 paise to close at 90.66 against the US dollar. Gold futures maturing on 2nd April were priced at 1,52,800 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for the 5th March maturity stood at 2,39,196 rupees per kg on the MCX. The talks between the United States and Iran are underway in Oman on Friday despite disagreements over the agenda. While Washington has sought to expand discussions beyond Iran's nuclear program, Tehran insists the talks remain narrowly focused as President Donald Trump warns of possible strikes if no deal is reached. As the second round of US-brokered talks between Russia and Ukraine concluded in Abu Dhabi, Ukrainian President Zelensky said further talks would be held soon, though no timetable or details were announced. US President Donald Trump on Thursday rejected a proposal from Russian President Vladimir Putin to voluntarily extend limits on strategic nuclear weapons after the New START treaty expired. In a Truth Social post, President Trump said the US should pursue a new modernized nuclear arms treaty rather than extend New START, which he called badly negotiated. Russian President Vladimir Putin had earlier suggested that both the United States and Russia should adhere for 1 year to treaty's cap of 1,550 warheads on 700 delivery systems. 12 people were arrested during a protest outside Columbia University where professors, students and supporters staged a sit-in against US immigration and customs enforcement. Demonstrators briefly blocked traffic on nearby streets during the protest as they accused the university of cooperating with ICE and called for it to adopt a sanctuary designation. US President Donald Trump on Thursday said Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has his total endorsement ahead of Japan's legislative election on 8 February. President Trump added that both the leaders are scheduled to meet at the White House on March 19th. He also praised Takaichi and her coalition, saying they deserve powerful recognition for their work. The US military said it killed 2 people in a strike on a suspected drug trafficking vessel in the Eastern Pacific, claiming the boat was operating along known narco-trafficking routes. The Deputy Chief of Russia's Defense Ministry main directorate was hospitalized after being shot multiple times by an unknown assailant in northwest Moscow on Friday. Indonesia and Australia signed a new security treaty on Friday, pledging to consult each other if either country faces a threat. The agreement was announced after Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto met Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese in Jakarta, as both leaders said the agreement demonstrates stronger than ever bilateral relations. Thailand will vote on Sunday in a closely contested election with reformist forces challenging conservatives and former leader Thaksin Shinawatra still exerting influence from prison. In eastern Congo's Fizi, a surge in clashes between the army and M23 has left hospitals overwhelmed, highlighting the heavy casualties from fighting largely away from urban areas. M23 has pushed south after capturing key towns including Bukavu, while the army and local allies fight back in strategic highlands near Minembwe. New Zealand marked Waitangi Day on Friday amid protests as conservative government leaders were heckled at multiple events amid growing political tensions over indigenous policies ahead of November's national election. Ahead of the Munich Security Conference, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz will make his 3rd trip to Washington in early March as Europe seeks to ease strains with US President Donald Trump. Suspected jihadist fighters killed at least 170 people in an attack that began with a fake call to prayer in Woro village in Nigeria's Kwara state. All right, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other side, more stories. Keep watching Express News on DD India.
Food systems contribute to a third of global planet warming emission. In today's episode, let's take a look at what happens when food systems stop working for everyone.
After Hattibondo arrived, we discussed as a village the challenge that we were facing. And we came to the conclusion that we should sow some crops, especially for the elephants.
The Meramok Cafe is basically promoting the circular economy. So there's not much transportation involved in that process. So this is one way that we are reducing the carbon emission from that point of view.
Is probably laughing because despite the fact that they're cleaning up other people's problems for free, it seems like nobody here actually wants them to be doing it.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. I'm Abhishek Maharaj and some more stories. Floodwaters rushed down from Grazalema after Storm Leonardo as authorities moved to avert further damage in southern Spain. Flooding forced Spanish civil guard to evacuate around 1,500 residents. Evacuees were moved to temporary shelters in nearby municipality of Ronda. One person was killed by a deluge in Portugal as Storm Leonardo lashed the nation with torrential rain, triggering flood warnings as rivers burst their banks in several regions. In the south parts of Alcázar do Sal were inundated as a series of winter storms continued to batter the Iberian Peninsula. Floodwaters and rescue operations continued in Moroccan villages after weeks of heavy rain inundated several cities. Authorities evacuated more than 143,000 people from northwestern plains. Snow and freezing rain forced delays and cancellations at German capital Berlin's airport on Thursday. The departures briefly halted as de-icing took twice as long. Havana residents bundled up as an intense cold front pushed polar air into the Caribbean, dropping temperatures to a record low of 0 degrees for the first time on document. Unusually heavy January rains in Colombia has left more than 31,000 people displaced, hitting the Caribbean region hardest, with Cordoba suffering the worst flooding. A cold wave swept through India's Kashmir Valley on Thursday, pushing temperatures below normal in Srinagar and surrounding areas. Strong winds swept across North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, triggering a sudden cold wave and lowering temperatures. Indian robotics firm Adverb unveiled its made-in-India wheeled humanoid robot Lexis W in Mumbai, designed to work autonomously with humans across various sectors. India's Vizhinjam International Seaport in Kerala ranked 83rd globally within a year, setting records in container traffic and boosting the country's maritime trade and logistics capacity. In Kerala's Idukki district, waterfalls have dried up or shrunk due to rising temperatures, disappointing tourists and affecting locals' tourism businesses, with only a few still flowing. In New Delhi, indigenous Australian art features at India Art Fair 2026 as Torres Strait Islander artist Grace Lillian Lee debuts her collection exploring identity. Indian teacher Rubal Nagi has won the Global Teacher Prize 2026 in Dubai, earning $1 million for using art to educate over 1 million children. Local youths in North Kashmir, India organized a Tiranga bike rally riding from Trehgaam to Kupwara to celebrate national pride. Colombia's Bogota marks its 28th Carless Day on Thursday, closing streets to private cars and motorcycles from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. local time. The move boosted public transport use and highlighted the city's push for cleaner, sustainable mobility. Latin America's largest art fair, Zona Marco, opened in Mexico City, featuring 240 galleries showcasing contemporary AI-driven, sustainable and classic artworks. The fair is a visual feast featuring 3 2-meter black and white portraits at Zona Marco Photo, where a Mexican sculptor used AI to transform sculptures made without a live model into striking 2-dimensional works. At the American Fine Arts Foundry in the United States, skilled artisans craft the Screen Actors Guild Award statues using traditional techniques like waxing modeling, bronze casting and hand finishing, showcasing centuries-old craftsmanship. The Netherlands returned a 3,500-year-old sculpture to Egypt on Thursday after it first surfaced at a Dutch art fair in 2022. In Nigeria's Edo state, enlarged spleens, a common malaria-related condition, are treated with artful scars and herbal remedies using black mixtures made from local plants believed to help cure the illness. Dogs enjoyed the fresh snowfall at Olympic venues in northern Italy on Thursday, playing in the snow at Cortina d'Ampezzo and Livigno, two of the game's alpine locations. Taiwan's Taipei Zoo highlights its 4 Shafalski horses this Lunar New Year, educating visitors about the endangered Mongolian wild horse, once extinct in the wild. In Russia, charity cafes like Dobro Domek are bright spots for elderly citizens, offering affordable meals and a sense of community amid tight budgets and meager pensions. The guitar played by late rock legend Kurt Cobain on the grunge track Smells Like Teen Spirit is set to be auctioned next month. Puerto Rican music star Bad Bunny said in a San Francisco Apple Music interview on Thursday that his Super Bowl halftime show on Sunday will celebrate my people and my culture. Fans dressed as music star Bad Bunny filled the Tacolicious restaurant in San Francisco on Thursday for a look-alike contest ahead of Super Bowl weekend. American actors Adam Sandler and Jane Fonda brought star power to the second day of the Santa Barbara International Film Festival on Thursday. Australian actors Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi attended the rain-soaked London premiere of the romantic drama Wuthering Heights on Thursday, with Robbie in a sheer gold detail corset dress. Wuthering Heights, directed by Emerald Fennell, is a romantic Hollywood film adaptation of Emily Bronte's 19th century novel starring Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, and is set for a global release on February 13th. American filmmaker Sean Baker's film Sandiwara, starring Malaysian actress Michelle Yeoh, will premiere at the Berlin Film Festival on February 13, with Baker returning to his signature iPhone shooting style. OTT platform Prime Video has unveiled Young Sherlock, starring English actor hero Fiennes Stephen, with its trailer released on Thursday. The series premieres March 4, 2026. Vadh 2, the sequel to the popular OTT crime thriller series Vadh, starring Sanjay Mishra and Neena Gupta, has released in cinemas today. Tamil director Jeeva Shankar's upcoming revenge thriller starring Atharva Murli has been titled Valai, the makers announced on Friday. Defending champion India will open their campaign against the United States of America in Mumbai on Saturday as T20 World Cup gets underway. The Indians are favourites, but the USA have won 8 of their 9 matches last year and are coming into the tournament with a 3-week camp in Sri Lanka. In a major setback to Australia, their premier pacer Josh Hazlewood has been ruled out of the T20 World Cup after failing to recover from a hamstring injury. Royal Challengers Bengaluru created history by winning their second Women's Premier League title with a record-breaking chase in the finals. Captain Smriti Mandhana led from the front with a superb 87 knock as RCB reached the highest target of 204 runs in the final with 6 wickets to spare. Indian wrestlers continued their medal run at the Zagreb Open ranking series, winning 4 medals on day 2 of freestyle wrestling in Croatia. India's title defence in the women's team event came to a disappointing end after a 0-3 loss to China in the quarterfinals of the Badminton Asia Team Championships. The 2026 Winter Olympics is set for a star-studded opening ceremony at the San Siro Stadium today as the Olympic flame reached Milan. Jack Draper made his return to the action with an emphatic victory for Britain in their Davis Cup first round qualifier in Norway to give the visitors a 2-0 lead. Andrea Gaudenzi has been re-elected as the chairman of the men's tennis governing body ATP till 2028. Al Nassr have again left out Cristiano Ronaldo from the matchday squad against Al Ittihad in the Saudi Pro League match. According to a FIFA report, a record number of nearly 6,000 international transfers were recorded in the January trading window for the men's soccer. Premier League club Leicester City has been docked 6 points after an independent commission ruled that the club breached financial regulations. Germany forward Serge Gnabry has extended his contract at Bayern Munich by 2 years until 2028. Gnabry has been at the club since 2017. Atletico Madrid are through to the Copa del Rey semi-finals after a dominant 5-0 win over Real Betis. Alright, that's all we have in this edition of Express News. You stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.